So with that, I will call up our first speaker, and that is Art Cardenas. He'll be giving his 10th speech. Yeah! For those of you who don't know, once you give 10 speeches is a big deal in Toastmasters because you earn your competent communicator. So we're really pleased that Art is doing it at our club. He tells me he joined this club so he can learn from the best. Now that's his language. And I think it's honest. I don't think it meant to butter us up so we could be better. So, well, Art's been with us for 14 months, and he's been a productive 14 months.
Yes.
Already given his 10th speech, and you've done a lot of work for us on the website development. So we appreciate all you do. And his first speech, his 10th speech is called Invisible Fences. Art Cardenas, Invisible Fences.
He never flew before. Excuse me. Oh, what? He's just plastic. He cannot fly. I have improved alloy and I can fly. No, you cannot. If you can fly, prove it. All right, then I will. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, that was a scene from one of the movies, Toy Story, when one of the characters, a flying toy, is trying to prove that he can fly. But in reality, he cannot fly. He later will find out the hard way that he cannot fly. Tonight, I'm going to tell you about an issue that not that many people think as a problem to fix. Invisible fences, or invisible borders around us. Many times, they're real fences. Some other times, they're imaginary fences. The real ones are the ones that really exist, and we don't know where they exist. Or sometimes we ignore them. And the imaginary ones, those are the most difficult to overcome, because most of the time are the ones that we impose ourselves in our minds, limitations, so we don't get to live a productive life. Have you ever seen the commercial, a TV commercial, where there is a dog running around a yard? Once he gets to the end of the yard, he magically stops and doesn't continue. We all know it's not magic. The way it works, he has a collar, the dog has a collar. Once he gets to the borders, he gets an electric signal to the collar, so he doesn't go beyond that area. And of course, the dog, they don't do it right the first time. They need training, long training, but once they learn how to do it, they will never go out of that particular area. In our case, as an adult lives, sometimes we do the same thing. We stay in an area and we engage ourselves in an invisible fence. It could be real or imaginary, and we never go out of that fence. And tonight, I'm going to tell you how you can overcome these two types of invisible fences, the real ones and the imaginary ones. The real ones, usually, they're like, the law of gravity is one of those, or they can be imposed by either governments or organizations. I was mentioning the movie tonight, the Toy Story movie, because usually that's a good one. Some people think they can do a lot of things, or they don't take into consideration the reality, like the law of gravity. Trying to fly, like in this movie, is never going to happen the way this character is. He's going to have to change. He's going to have to get better wings, or even an engine to be able to fly. Another example of real fences or real borders is migrating to another country. If you were born in this country, you are very lucky. You don't know how difficult it is to migrate to other countries, it seems almost impossible. I'm going to give you a different perspective. Let's say you try to migrate right now, today, just out of the blue, go to Germany, or go to a Gaelic country like Scotland. Just trying to migrate, it seems almost impossible. Doing it legally. Right now, there's so many regulations, government rules. It's almost impossible. If you go through all that process, you will almost give up and not even try. But something I can tell you is that, like in my case, if you do your homework, if you investigate all the regulations that exist in all the different countries right now, it is still possible to migrate legally to other countries. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to spend a lot of time and money. A lot of people are going to tell you, don't even try. It's impossible. But actually, it is. I remember the first time when I was trying to come to this country, I was actually declined. When I went to the American embassy, they took my passport and they saw it, and they actually stamped it, declined. You are not qualified to come to the United States. And not only that, they put another legend in my passport. For the next 5 years, you cannot go to the United States. I had to wait actually 10 years to try in a different situation to actually come to this country in a different, because a job situation. What I want you to get out of this is that even that these real borders or real fences that they seem impossible to overcome, they are still possible to overcome if you do a lot of research and a lot of investigation of how they work, and they are still possible to overcome. Now I'm going to tell you about the imaginary fences, and these are the most difficult ones because those are the ones that we impose ourselves. Limitations around us that we will never get out of that particular fence. We will never cross it. We think it will be too dangerous, or something is going to strike us or hit us. Maybe a thunder from the sky or something. We impose those limitations ourselves. And I'm just going to give you one generic example. Like in my case, 5 years ago, I didn't consider to be myself a runner. I used to be imposing myself physical limitations that I would never run more than 5 miles. I would say, when I started hearing that people were running marathons, ultra marathons, I thought those people were crazy. And I would say, no, I'm going to just do 5 miles and that will be my maximum amount. Then I got to meet other people in different parts of the city, and they were actually doing just what I did every single day. They were running 4 to 5 miles every single day. And one day, they invited me to actually do my first 10K. In this case, it's 6 miles. Actually, I did it, and I said, okay, that's my physical limitation. I will never run more than 6 miles. Later, the same people, they invited me to do my first half marathon. In that case, it's 13.1 miles. I remember trying the first time. I was running, and I actually was very not pretty. I got cramps in my legs. I got blisters on my foot. It wasn't pretty. I had to ask them, how do you guys do it? It's physically impossible to run a half marathon. And they told me, you have to train for a long time. You have to change what you eat. You have to lose weight. You have to prepare yourself and do it on a regular basis. Finally, after 3 months, I was able to run my first half marathon. And I was able to finish it with no injuries. And I was, yes, I can do that. Later, I did longer distances, and I was very happy to do it and increase my physical limitations that I imposed myself. What I want you to get out of this is that if you know you have a physical limitation, you have to push yourself a little bit more and more every single time. So for the next time, you do a little bit more and a little bit more every single time. That way you can improve your physical condition. It is possible to do almost anything. It is a matter of training and preparing yourself physically and mentally. My conclusion for tonight is that if you are not happy with the situation you currently are, please look around yourself. Look around if you have an invisible fence. either it's real or if it's imaginary. If it's real, you won't have to spend a lot of time researching regulations and laws. If it's imaginary, you have to think in your mind, and you have to push yourself every single time a little bit more, push yourself a little bit more and more, that way you can overcome your physical limitations. If you don't do this, if you don't do and overcome your physical limitations, then you might spend the rest of your life encaged in your own invisible face. Mr. Toastmaster?